Hello, everyone. Welcome to another vlog. I just want to ask you, when was the last time you changed your mobile phone or updated a software in a mobile phone, or even you looked for an update in your phone or an update in a news? I'm not going very deep into the exact statistics, but on an average, a person changes mobile phone once in 2 years, and we update our apps, one or the other app once in 2 months, and we even look for news updates once in 2 hours. Maybe not always, but in a normal term, either a news update or expecting a message or anything. That's the pace in which we want to know things, and we are updating and we are going about. And I don't want to talk much about the internet world. There's a lot of tools and updates which are getting released very frequently. So while we are in such a pace, our education system hardly goes towards a revamp or an update once in 2 decades. Yes, recently we had the national education policy from the Indian government. That's one thing, but it has taken a long time to have even a standard policy, and it is going to take a lot more time to get implemented. That's a different thing. I have made one small video on the national education policy, but let's go deeper on how this can be implemented at some other point. But at this point, I just want to focus on something which is very important and something the pandemic has made obvious. Yes, pandemic has given us a lot of problems and a lot of challenges to face, but it is always said that it is during challenging times that great innovations come up. Yes, we can look at the history when we had when we had the previous dot-com bubble, or any problem really led to one or the other innovative thinking and transformation. So in that case, yes, digital transformation is one thing pandemic has facilitated, and we are all moving to remote working, and we are getting used to it and so on. But one thing which pandemic has really shown us is what education has done to us. So to take some statistics, as per the CMIE report, which is the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, 27 million youth in the age of 20 to 30, I'm talking about the young population, have lost during has lost their jobs during pandemic, and that accounts to around 11 percentage of job loss in the group of 20 to 24 alone. Yes, I'll keep that on one side. On the other side, we have the income tax issues which comes through this and so on. But I'm still thinking these are the people who are going to be our future leaders. And if they are losing their jobs at this point of time, losing job is one thing, but the kind of confidence they would be losing, and the kind of the faith they would have in the system, is a very important problem to address. What about how are they just going to firefight, or are they going to innovate and come up? So that's the first thing which we have to focus. On the other hand, 57 percentage of engineering graduates are only employable, and 34 percentage of business administration students are still seeking jobs, which is around 62 percentage of the population, undergraduation population, are still looking for jobs. So this is after 15 to 17 years of undergoing rigorous education, and having that the dream that education would give them a proper life. But that is what has happened. This is the broad level statistics I'm giving, but if we go deeper, there is even more clear statistics which says that only 7 percentage of the students land up in a job which they wanted, which means they have reaped the exact benefit or the fruit which they want to get from the education system, especially in engineering. So yes, it's always we can talk about the problem, but as usual, as I say, it's always good to say the glass is half full and think of the solution. So what does it mean to us, and what is the indication of this? So the indication of this is something which we have to go in a reverse engineering mode. So we have to see what led to this. Maybe we can talk about the skill set of young people, and we can go for some we can we can advise them, or we can do some skill development and bring them up to speed of their current need. There are a lot of ed tech organizations doing that, and they're really solving the problem. Great. It's we can salute those company startups who are solving this problem. But when we go deeper, this is a problem which we created. In fact, we work, especially in India, a lot of engineering colleges have been opened without having a clear understanding of the needs of engineers in future. That's one thing. And looking at the system itself, the system, I hope most of you would agree with me, is more theoretical, while the real life needs practical education, right? There is no point in I learned simple interest and compound interest, but practically, when I wanted to get a loan in a bank and then see how it is going to apply, I have to think a lot and really understand what it is. So it is more important to teach someone financial literacy than teaching that formula of simple interest is equal to PNR by 100, or compound interest is equal to a minus p, where your interest is equal to something, yeah, I'm not recalling the formula, but a compound interest has a little more complex formula with the power, to the power n and so on. So we learn all these things. I'm just saying this, that a lot of effort has gone into learning, but financial literacy of how this is going to be used is missing. Similarly, we talk about Fleming's right hand rule and Fleming's left hand rule, but how students are going to design a circuit using that, and how are they going to fix a problem when something happens. It was a time on a Sunday, I was volunteering with an organization, and I happened to work with an electrician to help him. And that was the time I really understood how a fan is being fixed. And I fixed one fan on that day, just by helping an electrician on half day. And that is after doing 3 years of my undergrad degree, and also another 2 years in my postgrad degree. And that is where I learned how a fan is being fixed. So the practicality of what we learn is missing. There is no point in teaching students about the diameter of the wheel and the length of the bar and analyzing a bicycle without showing them a bicycle in front of them. You can't learn swimming without going into the water. And these are all something which has been spoken in different forums in different ways. But what is that which we can do to really address this? And who is going to take the first step? Is it going to be the government, or the decision makers in higher education organizations, or the teachers, or the students themselves? And one answer I would say, a little bit on my practical experience, is that somewhere students should start taking initiative, because guys, you are going to be whether it is good or bad, you are going to face the impact of what it is happening. So maybe students can take some initiatives to solve it, but that's not going to close the loop. And they should be supported with a proper system which would make students as innovators, which would make them understand why we are learning something, more than understanding what is to be learned and how that is going to be applied. Then our education system can create an impact. And that is where we have to bring practicality into education system. And this is not just a mere theory I'm speaking. This is something which is to be planned and thought through. And again, this cannot be just solved by embedding few more modules or few more changes in the syllabus. This needs a whole revamp in education. At least a portion of this should focus on giving innovation and practicality and exposing students to solve real world problems. When I say real world problems, yes, it could be something like finding a solution for an existing problem happening in developing smart cities, or it could be something a student can do in solving a problem which is happening in even on a rocket launching system at a small level in an aviation sector and so on. Yeah, these are bigger things which students can do. But even solving small problems, like how can the carbon emission be reduced, how can the congestion within the school campus, within the college campus, be reduced, how can the electricity consumption within a classroom can be reduced in an innovative way. Can they use some form of some simple things, like even putting some name boards within in the switches, so that people switch off the right equipment at the right time. Simple things to start with, so that the students would get a problem solving mindset. And once they know that they can solve a problem, that is where they are going to become even more innovative and come up with innovative solutions using what they have learned. So as Einstein said, uh, education without its application, so the quote goes like this: education without science without spirituality is blind, and spirituality without science is lame. I'm just giving a correlation, connecting science and spirituality, but I would say education without a proper application is of no use. And if students are just going to solve problems without the knowledge of the technical knowledge they have, then that's not of any use, or I would say it's not addressing the core of what it should do. So if we can find solutions for these and make students innovative and in a form think in a way they can solve problems, then we would bring, or we would develop problem solvers. World needs more problem solvers. When we have problem solvers, then every problem we see would be an opportunity for growth, and that's how many growths and many developments came through. Someone saw birds flying, and today aviation is a whole industry by itself. And someone wanted a, a bus ticket in a click of a button, and we know, that particular, bus uh, going the app which has been created. I just don't want to name the brand, but you all know. So why not we give a try to create problem solving mindset and transform students into problem solvers? So we will not just have graduates, but we would have innovative individuals who can make world a better place. So how can we do that? What is your thought process? So uh, looking forward to hear from you on practically implementing this. I gave a couple of ways to do this, and if you have more ideas, please feel free to comment and interact, and let's create some small local actions which can create global impact. Thank you. Ram Kumar signing off. Looking forward to hear from you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.